Hey gang, Chris here. I had a little fun tonight using Claude and Anthropic to generate Google AppScripts so that I could translate Google Slides from one language to another. It went so swimmingly, I thought I'd make a quick video for you guys just so you can see how you can do it yourselves. There are services out there you can pay to do this, but this is the free version and you're going to be able to download it from my GitHub, which I'll show it to you in just a minute. I'm going to show it to you on a simple slide that I used for these translations, and then I'm going to show it to you in a really complex deck as well. So what you're looking at here is the script. Now I'll just quickly show you. I created it with Claude. I did it in 2 steps. Now I went down a rabbit hole where the first step actually it worked right out of the gate. I just made it do translate to Spanish, but then I wanted to have some options. And it started doing a bunch of JavaScript UI pop-up stuff, which was supposed to work, it just didn't. So I backed up and just did it with this one simple script. And I said, just add menu entries right into the Google AppScript interface. And that's what this is. So anyhow, it's English, French, Spanish, Korean, Chinese, German. You'll be able to add your own stuff if you want to. You do have to have an Anthropic API key, but I've talked about that in previous versions. It's really cheap to have that. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like. So this is the slide. Again, it's a single slide, but I'm going to show you something more interesting in a minute. And it's an extension under AppScript. So you copy and paste the script into this interface here, and then you can just run it. You have to reload it, and when you reload it, it pops up a little menu here. It doesn't pop up a menu, but it populates a menu with different languages. I'm going to run it in German so you can see what it looks like. It actually paces itself a little bit so that it doesn't overload the server when it's trying to actually get translations in place, and then when it's done, it'll give you an updated version of the script of the slide here. There you go. So it's actually done everything. Now if it has images, it's not going to translate the images for you. This is purely text. So there's a German version, and I'll show you the Chinese, Spanish, and French versions of that same single slide. Now a single slide is not a big deal. It actually worked really nicely out of the gate for this one. Now clearly I'd have to go in there and do some work to make things fit, but really the heavy lifting's done. But let me show you something cool. I did it on a deck that I created years ago about leadership. And this is a 45 slide deck. And it only took maybe 2 or 3 minutes to do the whole thing. And there was one issue where it didn't understand these little lines, and that was it. Once I removed these 2 little lines from the deck, it translates smoothly. And I'll show you a Korean version here that again, it has little script in there, and there's Korean, and it's changing text. It's not going to change again images. It won't go in here. For example, I had a bunch of mathematical formulas I was using, and it changed all the text. But let me give you a diagram. This is an image. It's not actually going to be translatable, but you can see all the text in there is done. So this is handy if you are trying to do some translations. Maybe you have initiatives that are around the world or whatever, and it would be lovely to put it in the native language of your teammates. And this would get most of the work done, and then of course you'd have to have someone look at it to be sure that they're good with it, maybe from your teammates, a partner, or whatever. But this is pretty phenomenal. And it's a really straightforward script. So let me look at the script with you just a minute. I'm not going to run it on this long deck because it does take a little bit longer. But the script is real simple. It has at the top here the endpoints that you're going to want to use. I didn't put them in a different file or anything like that. They're just sitting right there. It goes through. It does a for each on all the slides. It checks to see what kind of things it's finding. Like, is it images, or excuse me, is it elements like images? Is it text blocks? Is it diagram items, etc.? And it'll go in and handle them. Here's the command. It's pretty straightforward. It does figure out on its own whether or not it's talking to Chat GPT, right there, or if it's talking to Claude. So that's kind of cool. I've only tried this with Claude at the moment. I haven't tried it with Chat GPT, so I'm going to go back when I get access to Chat GPT's API and try it. I haven't done it with an API check just yet. But it pops in the target language there, and then it sends a basic command. You're a translator, translate the text from English to whatever. So you can see how you can manipulate this script to do from Spanish to English or whatever too. And at the bottom, here's the menu items. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Yeah, so the menu items are, actually this is only a few of them. I've actually added more to the example scripts here. So it now has English, French, Spanish, Korean, Chinese, and German. Add what you want to, and then you come up and you add just a little call here. Again, I haven't done a whole lot with this. It did not. It had a pop-up that was doing it in JavaScript. It just wasn't working for some reason. And what I don't know is whether I could make it so that these AppScript entries could pass along a parameter. So hey, throw the bone here. It's actually calling one committed function for each language, but it's not a big deal to add whatever languages you want. Anyway, it is available if you want it on my Chris Harden, GitHub here, github.com/Chris Harden. And didn't really get crafty with the name. I just call it Google Slides AI Translator. And it's just one file. That's all it is. It's also free, and there's a license file. So this is it. Okay, it's got everything I just showed you. Copy and paste it. And if you have troubles, you can go into the debug log and see what slide number it broke on. So as I mentioned earlier, in this one, it went all the way through slide 18. And then I looked at it, and it said slide 18, object 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it was like the fourth one worked and the fifth one didn't. So I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, or this is 2, 3, whatever, 2, 3. And then I felt like this was the weird one. So I deleted it and then ran it again, and it went through all the translations. So I don't quite know what that's little line. This is just a polyline I made. I don't know what that's about. But so you'll find you might have to do a little debugging if you have something complex in there. But if you just have a straightforward deck with not any images that are all hard-coded with language or whatever, it's just a straightforward deck, it should work for you pretty smoothly. Anyway, have fun. I'd love to know if you have any challenges. Let me know, and I'll see if I can make changes.